This is the second part of assignment number 14.2. In this second part, we are going to take the section that we left off with and apply two other layers to it, two layers that are composed of multiple parts. When we left off, we created a three-pointed crescent shape and combined them into one object, a grouped in layer 2. We are now going to be adding the center ring, here highlighted in red. We will also be adding 3 additional rings inside of each crescent, here highlighted in yellow. These, of course, will be done in white to appear to break up the center ring. So let's get started. We'll begin by creating a new layer, layer 3, which we will rename Center Circle. Our layer 2 does not have the trace layer turned on, so we will do that. We will also make sure that both layers below are locked. I have added a 4th layer, a black background layer, which I will leave open. With the trace layers on, I will go to my ellipse tool and use the Alt-Option key to make the circle open from the center, and with my Shift key held to constrain the ellipse to a circle, I will drag open a circle that roughly corresponds to the center circle in the trace layer. Remember, you can always manipulate and adjust this if it isn't just right. When I click, I see a circle appear over the trace layer circle. The circle isn't thick enough, obviously, so I'll have to adjust my stroke. If the Stroke Editor dialog box is not open, you can locate it by going to Window, Stroke, and it should appear under your Layers panel on the left side. Now I'm going to change my stroke thickness from 1 point to 20 points, which still is not thick enough. My next option is 40 points, but that's too much. One of the things that you can do is go to the stroke window and type in your own range. Here I have changed to 30 points, and that looks just about right. Now we have to do something to break up the center circle to make it appear like the trace layer original. Again, I will open a new layer and name it Crescent Circles. I will want these circles to open in the color that I want to use to block the center circle, and here that would be white. If I click twice on the stroke outline box at the bottom of the tool panel, I will get the Color Picker Editor window to open. Going to the hexadecimal window in the editor box, I type in the code for white, which is of course 6 Fs. Again, holding down my Alt-Option key and Shift key to center and constrain the circle, I use the ellipse tool to drag open a circle just inside the pointed crescent at the top. If your ellipse stroke opens too large, which may be the case because it's most likely still set to the 30 points of the last circle I created, you can adjust it down. Here I've put mine at 16 points. The idea is to try to eliminate any view of the center circle between the pointed crescent and the white outline that we are creating here. Either move the circle to hide it or increase your stroke until it looks right. With this first circle placed where you want it, and with the still highlighted, bounding box and outline still lit up, go up to the Edit, Copy, and then Edit, Paste. This will make an exact match of your first ring and put it on the same layer. Use either your selection tool or your move arrow keys on your keyboard and position the new white circle inside the pointed crescent at the lower left. Now, copy paste one more time and position that one over the pointed crescent at the right. Now we have to combine the layers that have been created into one layer. With all of the other layers turned off and locked up, go to the center circle layer and highlight the shape by dragging around it with your selection tool. When you have it highlighted, go to Edit, Copy. Now unlock and turn on your layer number 2, and then go to Edit, Paste in place. This last part is very important because you want to place the center ring into the new layer exactly where it came from in the preceding layer, and you do that by doing the Edit, Paste in place. Now, if you drag around the combined shapes, you should see the bounding boxes light up on both the pointed crescent layer, layer 2, as well as the center circle, which has now been added into layer 2. This is the new combined shape. The shapes, however, are still distinct shapes as we have not grouped them yet. Next, turn on and unlock the crescent circle layer and highlight each of the 3 circles inside that layer. Now go to Edit, Copy. Return to layer 2 and again go to Edit, Paste in Place. All of the shapes now should be on layer 2. If you drag a box around the edge of the artboard outside of the shapes with your selection tool, all of the bounding boxes and core shapes should light up in the same layer designated color. In my case, that's red. Yours may be a different color. You can now turn off and lock up the crescent circles layer and the center circles layer. We are now done with part 2 of this assignment.